Good evening and welcome to The Union Show. I'm Casey Dickey. Representing the trade union movement across Australia, The Union Show covers current affairs from angles not often visited by mainstream media. The show investigates and reports on economics, trade, politics, industrial relations, the environment and new technologies, focusing on issues with a mind for their effect on the lives and livelihoods of working Australians. The union point of view is different.
We expect that Australians who voted for their rights at work last year should not see the continuation of laws which treat construction workers as second-class citizens and take away our most fundamental right to a safe workplace.
The ABCC require me to go and give them evidence about what occurred at a couple of union meetings, off-site and in lunchtime. They have, I'm sure, their targets within our union and they're trying to use me in that process, and I won't cooperate with that.
We cover current issues from the union perspective.
The ACTU would like to see the carbon pollution reduction scheme passed as quickly as possible. It's not perfect, it does need to be strengthened, it needs to have some things built into it and some strong industry policy that actually ensures new clean energy industries start to grow rapidly.
Well, every industry is going to be restructured and the union needs to have a say about it. And it needs to be, we need to have a broad overview too, because I don't think governments have got all the answers.
Well, in the last 6 months, there have been 9,000 workers who have lost their jobs in the Australian finance industry.
Despite this, organisations such as the Members Equity Bank are refusing to lay off staff.
Our staff have been very loyal to us and committed to us and helped us grow a very, very strong and successful business. We've had very strong and rapid growth over the last 10 years. And the first time we hit a bit of a tough patch, we think it's important to repay that faith.
The credit union movement came out of the union movement. It's about that collective notion. It's about standing for something which is a collective nature rather than profit is the be-all and end-all.
We tell the stories that unions want to tell.
Thanks to this anti-union stance, almost 2/3 of Telstra employees are now on individual contracts.
After the federal elections in November, HR went flat out to try and flog AWAs, individual contracts, to thousands and thousands of employees in Telstra before the federal Labor government legislated in the new year.
The Telstra campaign to win a collective agreement is one of the crucial battles at this point of time for the union movement.
Telstra wants to slice and dice its company into small groups and attempt to roll out a so-called employee collective agreement. What it is, it's just another form of AWAs. There is no negotiation with employees.
We report union matters accurately.
While it's business as usual in ports around the country, behind the scenes the Maritime Union has been busily putting their case forward to the recent Senate inquiry into the Fair Work Bill.
Any ship working on permits on the Australian coast should pay Australian conditions of employment and come under the Australian award.
The Rudd Labor government is committed to a positive future for our maritime industry as part of a positive future for our nation.
We're confident that she'll match up. If she doesn't, well then we'll be very vocal in holding her and the government to account.
The Union Show actively supports all union industrial and political campaigns.
Women are paid at least 18.3% less than men, and we know that that's been ongoing for over 40 years.
We want those people who are on minimum wage to say, well, why is that industry deemed to be minimum wage? Is it only because it's a traditional area that women are working in?
We, as a modern union, do lots of surveys and polling of the community, and we absolutely know that the community values the work of teachers more than many people who earn a lot more. So I think what the challenge is to set up structures that represent the community rather than the power structures that have existed over the years.
CFA and MFB firefighters, they come here to illustrate their concern, to elicit your response, elicit your support for a campaign to stop this government's madness in cutting firefighter numbers.
To see your employers try to take away these hard-fought guarantees, not just of employment security, but of community safety is absolutely unacceptable.
It basically comes down to, I think, cost cutting. by the government. It's really unfortunate because these are fair dinkum people. These are people that lead from the heart, that care about the community and care about each other.
We highlight union innovation, research and development, and industry planning.
The recently opened Plumbing Industry Climate Action Centre is a state-of-the-art training and demonstration facility for green plumbing practices, designed by Earl Satchers and others to take plumbing into the 21st century.
Just in Victoria alone, there's 21,000 plumbers who can make a massive difference if they're all installing systems that were much smarter.
The ETU sees renewable energy as a massive opportunity for skills enhancement in Australia and jobs. And for us too, we had to look at the training, because for electrical workers in renewable energy systems isn't something you're trained in your apprenticeship. It is a unique skill set in its own right. Well, the union's got a course that it's developed to do that, a renewable energy training course. We really want to be the lead agency for training people on renewable energy industry.
The Union Show supports union causes and charities and union events.
The union's always been involved in international aid, and this journey started in South Africa with a number of rank and file members and officials, where we visited a number of the orphanages and the schools.
But people had also donated second-hand clothing, blankets, computers. Well, it makes me very proud to be part of the project. There's no boundaries. Unity is international.
In 2004, the Plumbers Union launched an Indigenous apprenticeship scheme in partnership with Western Australian, Northern Territory and Victorian Indigenous communities.
This is a wonderfully proud day for the Plumbers Union. We have over 30 apprentices in a program, and today we have five or six kids, young people coming out of their time as fully qualified, registered and licensed plumbers, where they can work anywhere in the world with their qualifications.
It empowers us, it gives us the opportunity to, get out there and work in the communities, and be proud of what we do.
Most importantly, we talk to union members.
DSC, forestry, firefighters often work in isolation and have to deal with the hard terrain. Not to forget, also that many DSC workers often put their lives at risk.
Every time something happens, you're like, well, maybe the next one will be the one that gets me, and I'm not getting paid enough to risk that.
These are the ones that are out there with the, sweat and working hard and dropping trees and dozers operations, all that. They're the ones we need to get up onto a decent wage, because we don't get paid a lot of money for doing this.
You work a lot on your own, you still work as part of a big team. You're up there by yourself, you know what you've got to do, and you just get it done.
There were lots of challenges for me, and I still believe there's lots of challenges here if you want to move ahead and get promoted and do things. So I wasn't a crane driver to start with. I had to work my way through and get promoted to that, and it's a challenge.
Unions at the end of the day are just groups of workers that come together and combine their resources in a structured and a fair and democratic way to balance out the fact that the employer has a lot more resources. We're just workers coming together in our own interests and the interests of our families and other workers in other industries.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. Good night and good luck.